Did you know that you can make over $100,000 per year with only a couple years of experience? I have analysts today with over 2 years of work experience making over 100K per year. So let me introduce you to the wonderful world of supply chain. I'm going to talk about the top 5 career fields within supply chain. And if you hang on till the end, I'm going to talk about my absolute favorite of these 5. First, we have manufacturing. Within a lot of organizations, manufacturing is going to be kind of separated from supply chain. I started my career in manufacturing, and I can tell you there's an abundance of career paths you could take. There were folks on the factory floor, automation technicians who were making over 100K per year without a college degree. Some of the career paths you could take in manufacturing are operations manager, maintenance manager, quality assurance manager, just to name a few. Most of these manager positions pay well over 100,000 per year, with many of them hitting 200K depending on how long you've been with the company. If you really want to shoot for the stars, you can become a plant manager or plant director. You oversee the entire factory. That's where you're going to start making the big bucks, with a typical plant director making over 250K per year. All right, number 2 on the list is procurement. Procurement is a fantastic career path to go down. Procurement's role in an organization is to make sure that everyone in the company has what they need. From raw materials to manufacturing equipment, there's a procurement person behind all of that. They're constantly meeting with vendors, negotiating contracts, and trying to get the best price for the company. If the idea of meeting new vendors, negotiating contracts, and traveling appeals to you, you should definitely look into this career field. All right, coming up next is warehousing and distribution. I'm fortunate to have spent 2 years on the warehouse floor, understanding all of the operations from forklift driving to leadership to warehouse management systems. It was a great opportunity, and there's some really good career paths in this field. It's also a rapidly changing field. Automation is starting to take over a lot of jobs that were historically done by people. But with that comes more opportunities, a lot in the automation field. That's the second time you've heard me say the word automation. It's something you should look into if you're more of a technical person, you want to do something hands-on and still make a great career. The next field I'm going to talk about is logistics. As you're driving along the highways and you notice all of these big rigs, just know that there's a logistics person in the background who is coordinating the ship to, the ship from location, making sure the truck has the right product, making sure that it's going to the right place, and making sure that the billing is happening accordingly. Companies are always going to have to figure out how to get their product to a customer, and there's always going to be a logistics person behind that. Last but not least is my personal favorite, supply chain planning. For the sake of this conversation, we're going to break planning up into 2 categories, demand planning and supply planning. The demand planning side is a great career field to get into. It's a very valued skill amongst companies, so it's usually in high demand. The role of demand planning is to produce the most accurate signal based on historical data and sales inputs so that the rest of the organization can plan on what's to come. The other side of supply chain planning is the part that I've been in, which is supply planning. Supply chain planning covers many horizons, with the first one being the tactical or near term. Picture a production scheduler making a schedule for a factory that's going to impact today, tomorrow, how much of each SKU to make before changing over and getting ready for the next SKU. Very finite production scheduling, which is usually focused within the first 2 weeks. The next horizon is going to be more midterm. Think about master production scheduler who's scheduling for next few weeks in advance or perhaps the next few months. And their primary purpose is to make sure that you have enough supply to meet your demand. And they're making decisions to balance supply and demand. And then finally, you have strategic planning, which is what I currently lead. In strategic planning, we're looking at multiple years of data and helping to design the supply chain. We make decisions on where new factories should be placed, how many production lines, the speed of the production lines, with the goal of making sure that we have enough capacity to meet future demand. Now, strategic planning is super collaborative, and you're typically working with the highest levels of the organization, from manufacturing vice presidents to executives to CEO themselves. Supply chain planners, even in the most tactical horizon, with only a couple of years of experience, are typically making over $100,000 per year, and oftentimes a lot more than that, depending on the state that you're in, of course. Me being in California, we tend to pay on the higher side because cost of living is high. So it's not uncommon for a non-manager, for an analyst or a senior analyst to be making up to $130,000 per year. The other reason I love demand and supply planning is because in my experience, they tend to be more recession-proof. Not only that, but there always seems to be an abundance of opportunities in this field. Thank you so much. Please make sure to subscribe because I have a lot more videos coming that are going to go in depth in all of these fields.